Every time you try to set a boundary, it feels like you're the one being punished, doesn't it? The phone call ends and you're the one left feeling guilty, manipulated, and just completely alone. One minute you're the savior, the one holding it all together, but the next you're selfish, you're cruel, you're abandoning them. If you're stuck in this exhausting, heart-wrenching cycle with a parent who is an addict, stick with me, okay? Because this video is for you. You're not going crazy and you're not alone while you go through this. Today, we're not just going to talk about the pain, but we're going to get into why it's so hard to break these patterns. We'll unpack the emotional battleground of guilt and codependency. And by the end of this video, you'll have the first few steps of a blueprint for your own healing. Because your peace matters. Your life does not have to be defined by someone else's chaos. So let's go ahead and get into this. Have you ever felt like you have to have a PhD in reading someone's mood just so you can survive the day? Living with an addicted parent is like growing up on high alert 24/7. It's life defined by unpredictability, and the statistics are staggering. Did you know that 1 in 4 children in the United States grow up in a home with a parent struggling with substance abuse? Now think about that. That's a massive number of us who watched our homes turn into conflict zones, who learned to read moods like a second language, just trying to avoid the next explosion. This isn't just a tough childhood. For many of us, it's actually trauma. And what happens is we find ourselves forced into roles that we never asked for. Maybe you become the hero who gets straight A's and overachieves, trying to prove that your family isn't broken. Or maybe you become the caretaker, so focused on their needs that you've honestly forgotten what your own needs are. Some of us become the lost child, meaning that you learn how to become invisible because you realize being invisible is the safest way to be. And so many of us become the fixer, holding on to that deep down belief that if we just say the right thing, if we just do the right thing, if we love them hard enough, we can fix them. And that leaves scars. A brutal inner critic, crippling anxiety, maybe a constant feeling of dread that you can't even name. You might be a people pleaser, desperate for the approval that you never got. Or you might find it impossible to trust anyone, because the first person who was supposed to love you taught you that love is chaos. But I need you to hear me on this. I need for this to land. A parent's addiction is never, ever the child's fault. You didn't cause it, you can't control it, and you can't cure it. The guilt you feel is a symptom of their disease, not a measure of your character. And if any of these roles sound painfully familiar, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe. Click that notification bell, because what we're talking about next is key to helping you understand why you feel so stuck. So, if you know it isn't your fault, why does saying a simple no feel like you're committing the ultimate crime? Well, it's because the relationship itself has been wired to make you feel that way. First, there's the guilt. And man, is that guilt overwhelming. The second you try to set a limit, I can't give you money anymore. I won't answer your calls when you're intoxicated. That wave of guilt just washes over you, and that guilt is often a tool, a weapon, used by the addicted parent. They'll say things that tap right into your deepest fears of being ungrateful or selfish, making you feel responsible for their very survival. But a boundary isn't selfish. It's actually an act of self-preservation. Then you get the pushback. Addicts will often react to boundaries with anger, manipulation, or they'll just test you constantly to see if you'll cave. They might even create a new crisis just to pull you back into the chaos, and you have to remember that their reaction is not your responsibility. You are only in control of your reactions, and that's it. And under all of this is the terrifying fear of losing them completely. Because despite all the pain, this is still your mom or dad. You love them. And the thought of cutting them off for good is devastating. But here's the truth I've had to learn myself. Healthy boundaries are often the only thing that can save a relationship in the long run. Finally, all of this is tangled up in something called codependency. Without even realizing it, your sense of self-worth can get tied to being needed by them. And that's a direct path to burnout, resentment, and losing yourself completely. And if you're tired of the guilt trips, if you're tired of the pushback, do yourself a favor, subscribe to this channel, hit that bell, because in this next section, we're going to pull back the curtain on this dynamic that's really running the show. But what if I told you that the very things you're doing out of love and fear might actually be the fuel that's keeping the fire of addiction going? Let's talk more about that word, codependency. It gets thrown around a lot, but in this world, it's when you're so locked into managing their life, their emotions, their problems, that you completely neglect your own. And in a family with addiction, this almost always leads to enabling. Now, enabling is not the same thing as helping, and it's very important we understand the distinction. Helping is doing something for someone that they truly cannot do it for themselves. And enabling is doing something for them that they could and absolutely should be doing for themselves. It often comes from a place of love and fear. I get that. But it accidentally protects them from the very consequences that might push them to get help. What does it look like? Well, it's giving them money when you know it's for drugs or alcohol. It's calling them in sick to work just so they don't have to. It's making excuses for their behavior to family. It's cleaning up their messes literally and figuratively so that they never have to face the reality of what their addiction is doing and the damage that their addiction is causing. These actions, born from a desire to protect them, actually become the fuel for the addiction. Again, not your fault, but it does become the fuel. You're creating a soft place to land, preventing them from hitting a rock bottom that might finally be a turning point. To break this cycle, you have to learn to detach with love. It means that you can still love your parent. That doesn't go away. But you are no longer a casualty of their disease. Understanding this is a massive turning point. If you're ready for more insights that can help you break the cycle, I hope by now you realize you need to hit that subscribe button and turn the notifications on, because not only are the next videos going to cover some important things, but this video, we're getting ready to shift from the what to the how. You understand the problem, you see the dynamic, but what can you do? Are you ready for the actual step-by-step blueprint to taking your life back? The work starts with the only person that you can control, you. Step number 1, get clear on your needs. Before you can set a boundary, you have to know what you're protecting. What behaviors are you no longer willing to accept? The late night calls, the verbal abuse, the constant requests for money? Write it down. Get it out of your head. Write it down. Be specific. This isn't about punishing them. It's about defining what you need to be healthy. Step number 2, communicate the boundary calmly and clearly. A boundary is not something you scream in the middle of a fight. It's not a threat you make. It's a calm, clear statement about what you will do. And you need to use I statements. Instead of saying, you can't call me when you're drunk anymore. Instead say, I will not be able to stay on the phone with you if you've been drinking. I will hang up and we can talk again when you're sober. Instead of saying, you can't ask me for money, say, I love you, but I will no longer be giving you money. It's firm, specific, and it comes from a place of protecting yourself. Step number 3. Follow through. Every single time, follow through. This is where it gets real, and this, friends, is the hardest part. A boundary without a consequence is just a suggestion. If you say you will hang up, you must hang up. If you say you will not give them money, you have to hold that line, no matter how much they guilt, no matter how much they beg. Consistency is what makes the boundary real, and it will feel awful at first. But this is how you teach people how to treat you. Step number 4, manage their reaction and your guilt. Prepare for the pushback. They will likely get angry, sad, or try to manipulate you, so expect it. Your job is not to manage their feelings. Your job is to manage your own. Remind yourself why you set this boundary: to protect your peace. The guilt will show up. It's a conditioned response. Your work is to sit with that feeling, knowing that you are not abandoning them. You are abandoning the chaos. These steps are your foundation for freedom. And if you want to continue building on this to get more and more free, learning practical tools to get you through that journey, I know you've already hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, it's time to be real honest about this. Easy to make a video, but let's be real. Taking these steps and holding these boundaries can feel incredibly isolating. So where do you turn when you need to know that you're not doing this all by yourself? This journey is tough, and you should not do it alone. If this video is resonating with you at all, do me a quick favor, hit that like button. It's a small click, but it tells YouTube that this message of hope needs to be seen by more people. People just like me and people just like you. Share your experience in the comments. Seeing you're not the only one is an incredibly powerful thing. And as you type in your comment, it will give others the courage to type in theirs. And please consider getting real support. A good therapist can give you the tools to navigate this. Support groups like Al-Anon or Nar-Anon are filled with people who know exactly what you're going through. They've been there before. And finding these resources is not a sign of weakness. It's you taking a courageous step to build on your own character and strength to find ongoing support. And don't forget, you can keep tuning into this channel. You can hit subscribe and that notification bell. It's the best way to ensure that you never miss a video that could help you as you walk out this long path. The unspoken hell of loving an addict parent is carrying the weight of chaos while trying to build a life of your own. It's that constant war between love and resentment, hope and despair. But I want you to hear this loud and clear. Your healing is not dependent on their recovery. I'm going to say that again because these are words of freedom. Your healing is not dependent on their recovery. You can build a life of peace and stability no matter what choices they make. The journey starts when you make the brave choice to put your own well-being first. Boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They're fences to protect your peace. It's a long road, and it takes patience and a ton of self-compassion. But you are worthy of a life that is not defined by this storm. You are worthy of healing, and that can start today.